todos y bienvenidos un día más al canal Crónicas de una Merodeadora. Hoy estoy aquí con Anna Todd. Anna, hi, welcome to my channel.
Hi, thank you.
How are you?
Good. My voice is a little weird to warn everyone, but beside that, I'm good.
It's fine, we'll have subtitles, so
Perfect.
it's fine. So I have prepared some questions for you about the London books and magazines and everything. I wanted to know, how did it all started?
It started with me just reading online on Wattpad, and then one day felt like I couldn't find anything that was finished for one, or that people were really updating that caught my attention. So I just was like, maybe I'll write something to entertain myself, and then it was really fun. So I just kept doing it.
So did you read a lot of fanfics back then?
Yeah,
Harry Potter or
a lot. I read almost everything. I went from Twilight fanfiction to Harry Potter fanfiction to One Direction fanfiction to everything I liked. I tried to find fanfiction.
Yeah. Well, many readers wish to become published authors. How was the process of getting out of Wattpad and being published by Simon & Schuster?
Yeah, it was really exciting and also kind of crazy. I didn't know what to expect or anything. I never dreamed I would have a publisher, so I just was like, okay. But it was a really fun process. It was just fun and cool, and I feel like I learned so much from it.
What was your reaction when you learned that your books were being published in other countries?
It was really surprising because even when I got kind of used to the idea of being published, but I didn't even think about other countries. I didn't even know that publishers so I didn't know anything about publishing. So then whenever they started sending me these emails like, you're sold in Spanish and in French, I was like,
whoa.
What? Okay. So it's just really cool.
Do you know how many languages are you published on?
I know it's over 15, but I don't know exactly.
How many exactly? Yeah. Well, let's go back to Tessa's and Cardian's story. You know, it's really complicated. It has ups and downs. Did you know what would happen with them from the beginning when you started writing?
No, not at all. Or even toward the end, I still had no idea. I wanted them to end up together, but I didn't know honestly how they could figure that out.
So you don't plan your books, you just write and go along?
Yeah, I never plan. I try to now, but it doesn't work.
Okay, for me personally, the hardest one to read was Before. It's such an emotional book and everything happens, many points of view appear, and well, which one was the hardest for you to write?
I would say the hardest was probably Tessa losing a baby was the hardest, and the baby shoes, those killed me. The rest of it was kind of fun, and to be in everyone's mind was fun, but that scene I hated it. I loved it, but I hated it.
Yeah. Well, there's one character we all love. I mean, I think we all love, and it's Landon. I wanted him to be my big brother or something. How did the Landon books were born? Fans asked you for it? Or?
Yeah, well, it was a little bit of both. People kept asking. At first I was like, I don't know, but I didn't know about it, and then after I started, I was at the third after book on Wattpad, and then I was like, no, I have to know, because in my mind I kept seeing this scene of his wedding, but there was no, I didn't know whom he was marrying. I'm like, I need to know.
What happened?
Yes, I needed to know. So it was for the fans, but also for myself. I would have written it, I think, even if it wouldn't have been published or anything.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, your books are loved by so many people, but also criticized by a lot of people too.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that?
I just don't care, honestly. The first time I really got hit with it, because on Wattpad it's mostly, it's a little different now, but in the beginning it was only positive. So then when I got on Twitter and I was like, oh, because I feel I didn't even realize that people didn't like it. I don't know. So I was like, whoa, okay. And the first few days was hard because it felt it was just really okay. And most of the stuff were saying about it was so hard not to like defend myself and like be like, you're wrong or you didn't even read it or whatever. But then when I started realizing that most of the people that were criticizing it didn't read it, and it was mostly like Harry fans who just, I think they thought they were trying to protect him, but really they were like being really horrible.
Not doing that at all.
Yes, not doing that at all. But now I honestly don't care. Like I have a dream life. Like I don't care.
We all know After was born like a One Direction like fanfic, so to call it. How important is music to you?
It's really important. Even now with my books I'm writing, I cannot write without music. And even without writing, like music's just always been in my life. It's always been like a friend, I guess, to me. So it's really important.
Which is your favorite song right now?
Right now, oh, that's hard. Probably the song called Winter Break by Muna, the band.
Okay. Well, shortly after the After series was published here, at least in Spanish, Imagines came. It's a very different book, a very fun book. How was working on it? Like getting all these stories from all these different people.
It was really fun, and I think my favorite thing about it is that a lot of those people hadn't been published before, and this was like a way to get them published, and then a lot of my foreign publishers bought the book because of this, so it was really cool, especially because they're Wattpad writers, and also it was really fun to write Imagines and be able to keep the names. That was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, are we sure it's legal? But I guess it is, so.
Now you have a new book, at least here in Spanish, The Spring Girls, it's called in English. It's inspired in Little Women. And it's really different from the After books and Landon books. Why a retelling of Little Women?
I was just trying to think of what my next book, what I want to write next, and I wanted to write some kind of fan fiction, but not like real people necessarily.
Yeah.
And then I just was thinking of my favorite books, and I already put Wuthering Heights and Pride and Prejudice, all those in After, so I didn't want to do that. And then I just thought, I'll just do Little Women, but it honestly was a way different process because with my publisher, they didn't really want me to put a lot of it on Wattpad, and I hate that, to be honest. So it was much like, the writing process wasn't as fun. So then my next series that comes, I don't know when here, but probably around the fall, I actually published without Simon & Schuster, so I could do whatever I wanted.
Yeah. You were speaking about like the relationship between publishers and Wattpad. It's really tense, right?
Yeah, it's weird because even the publishers that like, they love the idea of Wattpad, they still hate it at the same time. But I understand in a way because being public, like I don't want books to disappear by any means. I just wish the publishers would like open the gates a little more and work with them instead of, but on Wattpad's side too, because they're both like, it's just so weird. I'm like, we all want the same thing. Like, we want to be the same thing. We should just get along. It is really tense, but it was hard for me because I came from being able to do whatever I wanted, and then having 40 publishers is a little different.
Yeah. Well, is there a spring sister you relate to more than the others?
Probably Meg. I want to say it's Jo because she's like the coolest one.
She's beautiful.
And she's so like, she just like is so confident and stuff, but it's probably really Meg. But the second, there's another one which will surprise, but it's not coming out for a while because I have another series first. But the second one, they're older, so it's, I think Jo more in that one, but Meg a lot in the first one.
Okay, this is kind of a tricky question. Should we read first Little Women before reading Spring Sisters?
I would, as a fan of that book, I would say yes, but they're so different. I planned on them being a lot more the same than they were, but then the characters like just changed and it wasn't the same book at all anymore. But there are some similarities in some of the scenes. You can see they're like almost exactly the same, just way different because it's modern times.
Yeah. Okay. You've been writing for so many years now. What's the most satisfying thing that has ever happened to you because you became such a renowned author?
I think just being able to do book signings. That's my favorite part of it, I think. Yeah.
Meeting all your fans.
Yeah, that's the most fun. Yeah.
Many people want to write. Which is your number one advice for them?
Not to let anyone tell you that you're not a writer. like literally the only thing you have to do to be a writer is write.
Yeah.
And if going the traditional route, like trying to have an agent or a publisher, those things don't work. There's so many other options. There's Wattpad, there's self-publishing, there's all kinds of things. And just like don't let anyone say no, because if that were the case, the only books in bookstores would be like old white men.
Yeah.
So like
that's right. I have to ask, can you tell us any news about the After movie?
Well, let me think. I know, but I will. Let me think what I can say. I can say I went on like a Twitter spree the other night, and I woke up, my publicist was like, "What are you doing?" I'm like,
Stop.
I'm like, just having fun. So I can say, I mean, I kind of already said the only stuff I can say on Twitter, but I can say that with the two leads, they are like, they're so good, so good. But I also can say when I saw them, because when you go to the casting calls, they have like pictures of everyone who's going to read. And I'm looking at them, I'm like, what? Because well, he looks like Hardin, but they're, I don't know, he didn't look like Hardin until I saw him in person.
Okay.
And with her, I was like, she doesn't look anything like Tessa. But then she started talking, and I was like,
Maybe.
oh, she's exactly like her energy and everything exactly like her. But I do know that the readers are going, not all of them, but some of them are going to be like, what? And I'm probably going to hate them at first. Just like with Twilight, like I remember I didn't like Robert Pattinson either until I saw the movie, and I was like, oh, best Edward ever. Yeah, so I can say that we are changing like some of the genders of people and some of the races too, just because like with One Direction, except for Zayn, they're all like, everyone in the book is pretty much the same race, and I just don't feel, now that I'm more aware of like what so I think that would make it better.
Okay. You said you were writing a new series.
Yeah.
Can you tell anything about that?
Yeah, I can say that the first one is called The Brightest Stars, and it's an interracial story with a soldier. It sounds a lot like my life, but I swear it's not.
Okay.
It's like a more dramatic, but it is very like relatable to what I mean, I got married at 18, my husband's in the army, so it's about a girl and a guy, and the guy has severe PTSD, and just them trying to like be together with the army and like deployments and PTSD and racism, all these things happening. So it's going to be a like very dramatic,
Very real.
Yes.
Okay. To finish, could you say to my subscribers why should they read The Spring Sisters?
I'm always so bad at like selling myself. You should read The Spring Sisters because it's fun and because I think it's relatable, even if it's set in like Louisiana. I think it's relatable, the things that the girls are feeling and going through in their life.
Okay, thank you so much, Anna, for being here.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.